Sweet. Hello, welcome to Btec Philosophers with me, Elliot Steele, and Michael
Odawale.
And you gave me a little look there as I started introducing the podcast.
No, I just love how confident you introduced the podcast.
Oh, thank you. I thought you were giving me a look like going, bruv, I was doing the introduction.
No.
Oh.
I just was just like such a confident introduction. Then you ruined it with your little bit of paranoia.
I know. I'm a very anxious man. I also think I upset people will know that we got producer Phoebe in here. She was just on the phone with old producer Vittorio, or a special guest producer, honorary producer of that one episode. And I was talking about Vittorio, not in a derogatory way. No. I was just saying his name. And then he was like, I can hear. And so I was like, oh, no, he doesn't think but I'm a very paranoid human being.
Yeah, you get yourself into a lot of those situations.
You see me do it.
I see you do it a lot. And a lot of the times there's nothing wrong. There's nothing going on. But, that's what paranoia is.
I'm a very anxious person.
Have we said the name of the pod?
Yeah. Btec Philosophers.
Btec Philosophers, the pod where we take a philosophical angle to the moral dilemmas of the week or of our lives.
Really just cut me off opening up there, didn't you? You were like, I don't want to hear this shit.
You got hit. I just wanted to make sure.
Yeah, it was just like, all right, mate. Well done. I'm feeling really down, and I'm actually looking at suicide as well. Anyway, so the podcast this week.
No, I'm just making sure because every week the numbers are growing.
The numbers are growing.
So that means new listeners.
There are new listeners.
And maybe one of them can help you, Elliot.
Maybe one of them can help
Maybe one of them is a licensed therapist. I think one day it would be great to have an actual modern philosopher on the pod. Or maybe it'll be like Coachella. Do you remember back in 2011 when they got like that hologram of Tupac? Imagine like if we could get a hologram of it, like an old philosopher, like a Seneca or a Socrates, one of the greats.
And just have him here.
Just have him here. I don't know how he would talk because obviously Tupac was a pre-recorded, just rapping his songs. But it'd be great, like to have an interchange.
We just have Socrates here. What do you reckon Socrates would have made of us?
I think he would have enjoyed us continuing sort of the philosophical sort of debates going on into the modern 21st century. I hope he wasn't racist. I mean, I just always think people of the past. Very possibly, because he was living in BC times. That's before Christ. I don't even know if he knew black people existed.
I think they knew black people existed back then, very much more so. Well, he was quite. Socrates was Greek, right? So
the European blacks.
The European. Well, they wouldn't be too proud to.
No, yeah.
they might take issue with that. I'm not thinking about. I wasn't thinking about you there. I was thinking about the abuse we're going to get from Greek people.
Right. They might not want to. They might not want to claim that.
Yeah. And no, but Greece, then down, there was, I believe that they went with Persia and everything. I don't know. Because Rome and Carthagena was in Africa. So the Greeks, I guess, I don't know. I guess they would have been aware, and I reckon they would have got on. I reckon there wasn't as much. Whereas nowadays, it's kind of like white people go, "Hey, why are black people so angry?" And you go, "Oh, are you going to read history?"
They say that?
Yeah.
Who are you hanging around with?
A lot of
they say that unprompted?
A lot of fun people.
You just be in a pub?
Also in the William Hill.
Just between slots. Why are black people so angry?
Yeah, this is what we discuss in between watching dogs run for money. And... yeah, well, when white people say that and you go, are you going to read a history book? And I go, yeah, we won the Second World War. And you go, no, further back.
Yeah.
Go just 80 years down the line and find out, about 78 years down the line.
Well, that is British history books. It just goes Henry VIII, World War II.
Yeah.
It's just big gaps missing in there, So maybe we got to blame the British education system.
I think I blame the British education system for most of the things in this country. Raises people. What is the point of the education system in this country? Yeah, when I don't understand. I've never understood this. Like the amount it focuses on bits of mathematics that I do not need.
Right. Give me an example, because I think
trigonometry.
Right. What is that? I've missed that.
Angles, innit?
Right. But we need to know angles.
Sure,
when
teach me angles, but I don't
furniture.
I don't need to know. I don't. There's a thing that shows me how to do it, or a bloke on YouTube.
They should at least teach us Swedish along with the trigonometry, so we can have multi-purpose.
You're overcomplicating. Not only do you learn trigonometry, you also need to learn Swedish,
so we can put together our furniture later on in the future.
But the furniture, they also have it in English.
Oh,
just get them to print it. Just you did. That's
Look,
not.
the education system, problem solving. That's what you just did, right?
But that's what it is. That's what it should be. It should be critical thinking and problem solving.
Well, then, like, I always like disagree with that point of view because I'm like, why should you just learn the very basics? You want to go out of school just having known the very basics? The school is teaching you to expand. It should be teaching you to expand your mind.
But it's not teaching you to expand your mind. It's expand your mind in the criteria of what we're saying. Think about what testing is. It's how can you memorize and repeat this information. It's not teaching you to go and learn the information. There was a girl, genuinely, in my history class, GCSE history. I got a B in history, right? This girl got a C. 4 months into learning the rise of the Weimar Republic, 1919 to 1945, the rise of the Nazi Germany, she went, oh, are the Jews and the Nazis not the same thing? 4 months. 4 months. So we're there learning about Nazi propaganda about Jewish people, and she sat there going, it's weird that they'll say that about themselves. Why do they keep drawing themselves with such big noses and sixes as the nose? Why are they doing this?
They have low self-esteem.
Is this why they're mad at the world? Is this how they see themselves?
The real lesson here is body dysmorphia. That's what we learned today in history.
How you been, man? How's your week been?
It's been a good week, man. You've got me thinking maybe about the education system, man. You ever opened like an exam and then like you just know that it's not gonna go well? What's the worst? Like for me, one time I opened an exam, I just got tired. I just needed to take a nap. That's how exhausted I was by the questions because I knew I was not gonna pass.
I had a Galaxy chocolate bar in my blazer, and I spent the entire exam stealthily eating that more than I did at looking at any of the questions on the exam.
Really? What exam was this?
This was, I believe, a maths exam.
Wow.
I looked at it. I went, absolutely. I once in a class mock exam, my dad got called in. I will get him on a pod one day. I'll get him to tell the story. That my dad got called in because I drew all over one of the pages of the exam. And my dad, they're going, this just isn't appropriate. And I was just sat there and they're going, well, why did you do this? And what it was, my mate had drew a massive cock on my paper. So I had to then style it out because I was like, I can't hand this in. There's a massive cock on it.
No.
So I styled it out in this detailed drawing. And so I just had to go and
how detailed?
Fucking, well, it didn't look like a cock.
What did you turn into? Dragon?
Yeah, like a rocket ship and like in space and stuff.
Did you think you would get extra marks for the less away from a cock it looked?
I didn't. I just think all I was thinking is my dad's going to be called in because there's a cock on my paper. I can live with your son's drawn a rocket by Saturn.
Yeah.
So then I just had to sit there and go, oh look, it was a cock, and then I just detailed it out. That's what I spent one exam doing.
And that's fair. I think the worst is when you leave an exam and you're confident and then you hear that the answer you got was way different from what the other kids got in the exam.
Yeah.
Like, they'll be like, what's question number 5? I got 26. What'd you get? I'm like, I put photosynthesis. Yeah, I didn't. I thought that was a completely different paper. I'm not gonna lie. I didn't know what was going on at all, man. No, it's been a good week. The sun's here.
Sun is here. Sun makes everyone happier.
I feel like a lot of people, they're wasting money on therapy. You just need sun and a beer.
Yeah.
Sun and a beer. Like, that's... Your problems are solved, really.
Dude,
Look at everyone in LA. They're so happy.
They are happy. Dude, I love just sitting in the sun in summer. Just being in the park with a beer. There's a bit of music playing. People
See girls in the sun.
You made it about that.
That's part of the element. I think what scares me about the summer, though, is we're going to start seeing a lot of guys with the shirts. Just leaving the house with no shirt. That's just their outfit. Just shorts, no shirt.
I feel like white people, again, are responsible for the...
I did not want to say it. I mean, at least...
It's okay.
In the black community, there'll be a string vest. So a lot of chest is on show, but at least there's fabric.
Yeah, this is a white issue. And white people, we got to stop this.
Elliot.
Stop it.
We need a PSA from Elliot. Public service announcement. Elliot, if you could please address the whites.
Whites. Come on, man.
Dun, 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 dun,
You know,
dun,
for years, we've been doing things like this. Have we not caused enough hate in this world? Have we not caused enough hurt without us going out there with either our flabby chests,
Gaminy,
stood there bothering mothers pushing prams at lunchtime? We can't do this when gentrification's going on and there's the yummy mummies in the cafe nearby.
No, you're disturbing yoga sessions.
I'm talking to you, the Harrys, the Pauls, the Derricks of this world.
Put on that Fred Perry shirt.
Put on the Fred Perry
Have some
shirt.
shame. I think that's what we need more in society, Elliot. It's some shame. Do you want to discuss that this week? The philosophy of shame.
I'd love to discuss the philosophy of shame.
I personally think I don't know about you guys. I think shame is a very necessary emotion.
Absolutely.
I think you need shame. Like, it can go too far. It can definitely go too far where it cripples you. But I think a bit of shame, it keeps people in line. It stops people going crazy. Do you know what I mean? It has a moral place in society. I'm not gonna do that because society as a whole is gonna judge me and make fun of me. So I'm a stay in. Sometimes that's the only thing keeping some people from going out the house, not showering, just naked, is shame.
Yeah.
I think that's good.
Yeah, I guess that is. There's an element of shame what we do. We tell some shameful stories on stage and get laughs as we've learned how to package and monetize shame.
Okay, so that's the other side. That's a therapeutic releasing of shame, right? Where normally those stories come from a place of, look how stupid I was and I'm better now. And then the audience can relate. And like, I've done that stupid thing too. I can relate. Do you know what I mean? I feel like that is a healing part of shame.
Yeah, shame's important to make you a better person sometimes, to recognize. But I think it's also it's good to feel shame because it shows you care about others and your actions, because sometimes you're going to do something in your life that is going to cause hurt, you know?
Okay.
So then you learn from that, wow, that didn't make me feel good. It didn't make me feel good to be that person. I'm going to bottle this moment, remember how it feels. That's why alcoholics and drug addicts, they got to hit rock bottom. They got to hit,
And then
I've
hit it again.
sold my kids' kidneys for a bottle of Jim Beam.
Wow.
I should probably
Not even their own kidney, their children's
their
kidney.
children's kidneys.
Wow, that is arguably the bottom of the rock.
But that's why gambling addicts, innit? Apparently, gambling addicts' shame is they live for the shame. They live for the loss.
Right, explain that.
So
As
they
a
take
William Hill sort of legendary member, honorary member.
I don't go into William Hill anymore.
I mean, everyone just use your phone. Who goes inside?
I don't gamble. In fact, I was going to say to you one day, if we ever got the offer to do gambling adverts for this podcast, I'd turn them down. I think
I don't know if they would come to. I don't know if that's the demographic. Is philosophy podcasts.
I reckon we'd get advertised to by gambling
What's the most shameful sponsorship do you think that we would accept?
that we would accept. Russia would accept Russia.
I mean, like, if it was like Russian tourism, after this is all over and they kind of wanted to build their rep again, and it's like, come visit the Kremlin, we're not all that bad. I mean, would I do that? Yeah, sure.
I think your mic's not quite turned up as well, Phoebe. Sorry. Just make sure that's sorry. So to do that after your I was just making sure that
No.
I'm the admin of the pod. One day we'll have a week where we make this one smoothie.
That's my favorite.
I couldn't even say one day a week we'll make this one smoothly.
Smoothie.
Oh my god!
Blended your words.
This is why it's blended. This is why it's Btec philosophy, people. You know what you're tuning into.
That's one of my favorite part of rap tracks, though. I've always wanted to be a rapper, just so I can be like, turn my mic up a little bit, turn it up louder.
I need a little bit more bass in there.
Yeah.
I got some shit to say.
Yeah. Is my mic on? Turn my fucking mic on.
I like that you really envision yourself as a rapper.
I think it could work.
You really base yourself on kind of Tyler Creatory
I mean,
vibe.
I don't think I do. I think I just get that comparison, either that or Donald Glover a lot, and I'll
That's
take
because
that.
you look like Donald Glover.
I mean, I think that's just something I don't want to say white people say, but they do say it a lot. And I guess it's.
Don't make me out to be a racist.
I'm not
for
saying.
that.
I mean,
How dare you?
6 of the 7 podcasts now. Something's come up where you said something
Do you see why I have paranoia? Do you see what I have to hang out
because
with?
of your consistency of making misjudged comments.
I didn't make a misjudged comment. Donald Glover's a nice.
I said I'm happy with that one.
When I have long hair, right? I got called several times when I used to have long hair. Adam Driver, that was the one, and that's just because he's got a big nose.
Yeah.
That's all that is.
Adam Sandler.
How Adam Sandler?
No.
That's even more. That's as race. That's anti-Semitism.
No, who's the guy?
There's harder boots on the other foot
Oh,
now.
you're like 2% Jewish. Relax. Man.
now. Oh, I'm not Jewish enough for you. Oh, here we
Wait,
go.
the view
This guy
shared.
must also be a Jew, the way he's hating on Jews. If you're going by that, go in my history class.
I'm not feel comfortable bantering on this topic because I know how the Jewish community mobilized after the comments, and it's a lot better than the black community mobilized in terms of effectiveness. So you can you win this round. You win this round, Elliot. You win this round.
Mobilized.
When it gets down to you guys get stuff done. I'll say that.
What do you mean by you guys? Oh, I
Whoa.
see what you did.
Oh,
It's
wow.
fun, isn't it?
You know what the pressure? It's not fun on the other
It's
foot.
not fun, is
It's
it?
not fun on the other foot. I'll admit that. It's tough. Okay. Back to shame. Where we at? Yeah, I feel like I think you were saying shame can be good because you realize you've maybe hurt another person or you've gone. But is that to do with the other person or is that to do with you?
I guess there's a reason.
It's shame because I think shame is a very personal thing. So I think if you've hurt somebody, is it because like, I've wronged this other person, I feel shame towards that, or is it because you feel shame about what you've done, like how it made you feel?
I guess for an example. Ooh.
Are you trying to filter through the many personal examples of your own life?
Oh god, yeah. I'm
This
trying
week
to work
alone.
out. God, I'm gonna have to go back to when my people killed Jesus.
Again,
My
great
people.
example of mobilization. Great example of mobilization.
I guess it would be say my people. My granddad was Jewish. What? I only claim Judaism because of anti-Semitism. Because anti-Semitic people call me. It's like, you don't mean anything to me. Aren't they? Do you know what I mean?
Expand.
Like, I only would identify within the realm of Jewishness is because anti-Semitic people see me as Jewish. Jewish people don't see me as Jewish.
I would say most people don't. You don't have a Jewish face.
I don't have a Jew. I don't. What mainly? I don't believe in the crazy religion. I don't believe in any religion.
The view shared by Elliot Still belong to Elliot
Religion
Still.
is crazy. It's insane.
Yeah, but like I thought, once you're a Jew, you're born, you can't leave. It's like the mafia.
Well, that's. Oh, I don't know.
You once you're in, you're born it. It's a birthright thing.
Maybe.
I also don't know.
Judaism passes through the mum.
Is that
Well, not
really?
Jewish then.
Are you not Jewish?
Yeah, so I retract those last few comments.
Well, the shoe is back on the other foot. You're just trying to claim things now to have me on the back foot.
Did I ever mention that I am a Scientologist? No, I'm trying to think of a religion, and that's the only one that I could come up with.
That's what you went with for sympathy?
I went for being marginalised.
Oh my goodness.
No, so as you were talking about shame, I believe in times that I've experienced shame, it's because sometimes you see how much you've hurt someone, or you see what the outcome, the consequence that actually some of your actions are. I think there's different kinds of shame. Like if you're in one of those things where you've hit someone and it done a hit and run, driven off, and it eats up at you inside, knowing that you're capable of something like that. Then when it comes down to it, humans, for example, on topic weirdly, the Nazis. There was a lot there after the Second World War. There was so much shame within themselves because of what they'd done when Germany had to go through. That's why Germany, you actually find a lot of Europeans aren't angry at Germany after what Germany did in the Second World War, including invasions and stuff. Whereas people who are British don't get the same level of respect, even though it wasn't as recent with the crimes of the British Empire, because the British haven't done any reflection on the shameful actions that they
It's
committed.
very interesting, obviously, because William and Kate, they've been getting a lot of criticism for their recent trip to
Tone
Jamaica.
deaf.
And like there's pictures of Kate, like, and she's reaching out through the kids, through the gate, and then you see black hands touching them through the wire. And then there was one image, and it was like them in a car standing up, and it just like felt very colonial 1920s. And I think it's like you said, it's quite tone deaf, because Jamaica even said like this week, like, listen, we don't want any part of you anymore. And I think there was a lot of surprise from the royal family. Like, oh, you guys, we thought you loved us.
Let me tell you what happened there, Mike, right? This is called diversity devised by white people. So what happened is they've gone, hey, what would be great, and this is a white person in the royal family, after all the recent allegations of racism.
Yeah, everyone.
And someone working in the media team. They're called like Stephanie, and she's gone to Cambridge. And she goes, no, it would be just so great if we could get some pictures of you and you're around all these black people and they're like reaching out to you and it will just look great. And there was nobody in that room to go, that's not going to look, no, don't.
Don't even go over there. They don't need you anymore. They don't want you. They never needed you.
Don't go over there. This is going to be awful. It's going to be very white savior.
Yeah.
What's white savior? Is it? Well, it's when you go, to another country and post pictures of you doing good for the likes. Oh my God, I did that last year when I went. Right, is that kind of thing.
If there was any black person that William Kate needed to see, I think it's Oprah. I think that's she's only, but they need to do part 2, and they do their side. I think that's the only way to get out of that situation.
Do you know what they're going to be doing in the royal family? That same Stephanie's going, okay, guys, what will really reach out is if Wills and Kate do like a rap song.
Wow.
If they could get up and like spit some bars, that would really resonate, and we'll look great. That's the kind of thing white people come up with.
Stephanie, man. Stephanie, you need to lose your job. But I think, what you're saying is true. That there's shame without reflection. It's kind of more self-pity. It's kind of like there's no, because you need shame to get to the other stage of the emotional, spectrum, and you go from shame to reflection to change. Yeah. But you can't fully change if you don't like think about what you've done. So like you're saying, Germany, there's been a lot of soul searching in Germany. A lot of soul searching. They probably, since the war, haven't used their military might because they're like, you know what, we're just.
They haven't got one.
They haven't got.
They haven't got.
Oh,
one.
No. Internationally, legally.
No. We've forgiven Germany, but we're not stupid.
Guys, you do it twice.
Fool us once.
Guys, you guys.
You can't. No. Russia can be on your doorstep. We're not sending you tanks.
You guys.
We're not. We'll fight the war around you.
Guys, it's been 70 years. Come on. Trust us.
Yeah, hello, we just need some tanks to... No. Okay, well, what about some supplies for a shower? Yeah, sure. Wait a second.
He can say that. He's Jewish. He can say that.
Suddenly I'm back.
He's allowed to say that. When we clip that up. We need to keep this part in.
But I feel shame a lot, but I don't know if my shame comes from anxiety and just rather that I'm being disliked. Like earlier I came in, I was quite angry in front of Phoebe. I was just ranting about stuff that I probably shouldn't have ranted about and things like that. And then like later on I had to go, I'm sorry, I feel like bad about that. I shouldn't have been done it. Well, I said it in a less open way. I kind of gauged her reaction.
Yeah, you're fine.
Oh,
you're
okay.
Fine.
I feel like I missed the context of this situation.
I was bitching about a comedian I didn't like.
Okay. And then you felt happy to do that, and then only off of Phoebe's sort of hesitant reaction did you feel bad about it.
Yeah.
Does shame only happen if you feel judged by someone else?
Shame happen in an empty room?
That's a great. I thought I kind of touched on it earlier. I think you can feel. I think part of shame is sometimes the thing that you can never tell anyone, but you're that person. So you hear people going about, oh, that, what kind of human being does that? Like someone who's probably hit someone in a drunk driving accident.
You keep bringing up that example. Elliot, what are you trying to say?
Like that random
and that night on Morpeth Road, it was raining. And how was I meant to see a child? But I didn't, the insurance doesn't uncover. And I know I should have gone through their pockets.
Yeah, this happened. Yeah, this actually happened. Yeah, but
and I didn't know it was in reverse after I got. No, but that would eat someone up. Imagine something, the most shameful things. Well, it could be different things. Shame could be people feel shame for slipping up in the street and being seen in public. But I think to what you say, Phoebe, yeah, you do feel shame. Even if it's just not just being judged by others. There's different kinds of shame, but that shame where it's, oh my God. Have you ever had a thing where you're like, if that gets out about me, oh no, if that gets out, then do you feel this as our careers are starting to progress a little bit?
You say regress or progress?
Progress.
Okay.
I heard regress.
I heard regress.
Okay. As our careers are starting to progress a little bit, do you sometimes worry and go, if that gets out when I'm famous, I could catch heat for that?
Is that shame? Or is that
probably my paranoia?
Concern?
But is that even shame because if you were truly ashamed about what you did, you would address it. What you're doing is almost like from a place of fear of it being found out. Is that different? Surely, because I'm trying to argue, is shame like, is it just a personal thing? And then, or is it a thing like when it touches other people, that's when you feel it? Because if you truly felt shame about something you've done in the past, even if it wasn't found out, maybe you would try and work on addressing it now.
No, but I mean, okay, say you did something, say you had something, I don't know, I haven't really got anything like that, you know, because what people get sometimes called out for is sometimes it's fair enough. And
yeah.
Sometimes when people go, oh, cancel culture, and you're like, yeah,
that's a crime.
That was
criminal offense.
That's not cancel culture. That's just law.
Yeah, that's always been illegal.
But then sometimes it is, you know, I find it weird, and this happens to men and women. Sometimes someone's ex comes out in the future, or someone who's also well known who's an ex and comes out and goes, oh, you know, they're into this in the bedroom, and everyone's like, ha 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 ha, fuck you, and that's the thing where is that you're then being shamed. You sometimes the people doing the shaming should be ashamed of themselves.
Okay, maybe Phoebe, you can bring this up. I'm trying to remember this example off the top of my head. There's the guy who used to own F1, Max Mosley, and sort of the News of the World uncovered that he'd like to have sort of Nazi themed BDSM parties. That was his thing. Right, and so they kind of put that on the front page of the paper, and he lost his job as the head of F1. Like, obviously, as you can imagine, his private business up in the air. He got publicly shamed by everyone. But then he decided, no, fuck this. Why do I have to feel shame about what I'm into? And he went and sued the News of the World.
Good for him.
And he won the case. He also argued that it wasn't Nazi themed. It was just like Nazi adjacent uniforms. Do you know what I mean? So, but
yeah, that's Nazi themed.
No, well,
you can't.
He's still got money, so I'm just making sure I put that.
In this, it says he's also racist. So before you start.
Okay, I mean that's okay. His own.
Well, thank God we checked this before.
Well,
before we started leaping to the defence of this man.
This is the point is still.
We were so about to defend him as well.
Well, to be fair, Nazi adjacent sex parties, it should give you a vibe that something's not quite right.
If you're a racist, you can't be doing that. But if you're not a racist, I don't see the issue.
No, but that's regardless of what else he's done.
Nazis happened.
Yeah, exactly. Why can't you?
It's a bit of history. You could, if that's what makes you come, that's what makes you come. It's, you know,
that is our philosophical quote of the week, by the way. Just in advance, if that's what makes you come, that's what makes you come.
You know, I don't know how you find that out, but.
Well, I'm saying like, this is something that he could have been like, I'm gonna just hide under a rock. Everyone knows what I'm into. I'm a dirty old man. But he's like, no, I'm gonna fight this case. Why should this newspaper, News of the World, who are famous for sort of doing that sort of thing, just going into people's private lives, and just sort of blackmailing them basically, or uncovering stories about them, which they would have found quite personal. He's like, I'm gonna fight back against this, and I think so. In its own way, is shame liberating. Because once that thing is out there, you're like, there's nothing else they can hit me with.
I mean, it does say here that he filmed a kinky 5-hour session with 5 prostitutes.
Well, now prostitutes.
Sex workers.
That's mathematics.
Sorry. This is an article from The Sun. I am reading it word for word.
Okay.
So I just have to do that ever since I ended up in a book.
Yeah.
Because that was the story for the
Sun,
podcast.
Sun, one of our new sponsors, The Sun.
We can't be sponsored by The Sun. Oh my God. No, we want to get Scouse comics on this. We can't have
We'll
The
never
Sun.
go and have a word.
Hang on. I'll start this one again.
Sorry.
And I won't quote where it's from. He filmed a 5-hour session with 5 sex workers who were wearing German military outfits and also striped prison camp style pajamas.
Okay.
So I feel like you guys can't be defending
You guys,
it.
I don't give a fuck. I couldn't give a shit.
Have you seen the boy in striped pajamas?
Yeah.
Did you feel anything?
Yeah, I did.
Okay.
Obviously, Max felt horny when he saw that.
Imagine watching that and then feeling something and being like, "Oh, who knew it was this all along?"
You're crying. You're in the cinema with me. You're like, he's not doing the dick in the popcorn trick now. Of all the places. But that just to me sounds like a dom sub thing. That's
guys, you're focused too much on the specifics of the story.
That's kink shaming.
I'm trying to talk about the moral of the story, which is he was shamed for something, rightly or wrongly. He was shamed for something, and instead of cowering into the shame, he's like, I'm going to fight back. I'm going to be more public, more present. And I think, I was reading the story about it, he actually got more public support when he decided to fight back against it.
Because people resonate with that. They go, he's had something exposed. There's a human element of that. And that's why I'm looking at that sort of without knowing any of the story and going to be having to put an apology out next week. But he's had something taken from him, like a livelihood. That's the thing that happens with this council. Not just council, but even when papers used to do that. Look at this guy. He's into something weird. And when he comes out and goes, hey, fuck you. This is what I'm into. This is my life.
Right.
And you've exposed this on me. People will go, oh my God, imagine that ever happened to me. Because the majority of people are not who they're trying to be on the base cover of things.
So that's what I mean. So he decided, I'm not going to feel shame. So if you decide not to feel shame, can you be shamed? For example, let's say we've all had this situation. We do a gig, you tell a joke and it bombs. Now, if you cower under the bomb of the joke and the audience see like, oh, that joke was horrible, and they see that you've lost confidence, they're going to lose confidence in you. If you're just like, yeah, fuck it, that was a new bit, that didn't work, or that worked somewhere else, you notice a lot of times that gets a laugh, and then you can move on. So if you just like decide, I'm not going to feel embarrassed, I'm not going to feel shame, does shame still exist?
Well, do any emotions really exist? They're just what we agree the emotion is.
Well, this is the philosophy podcast now. This is Btec extra. When we say questions like that, when we get meta like that, that's when we get Btec extra.
That's all philosophy, isn't it? It's just going meta.
Yeah. You just ask,
really
does it really exist?
Does it really exist?
Ask that about anything.
Well, okay. Oh yeah, I guess that's all this. But no. I see what you're saying about shame. But as an emotion, can you be shamed if you don't feel shame? I would argue no. I'd argue there's a psychopath, Gary Ridgway, who had the highest number of alleged killings in America.
Okay.
Got overshadowed by 9/11, actually. He got arrested on the same day as 9/11. And, it was the news story that week, I guess. And he got, I don't know why I said it like that. It's totally fair. Then he got overshadowed by... you'd be pissed off if you were a serial killer, though, wouldn't you? And you got overshadowed by 9/11.
I'd be pissed off if I was the victim and I got overshadowed.
No, but I mean, if you've been caught, it's your body of work as a serial killer. You're in the mind of a serial killer. You've done it. You're going to be on the front pages. You're
going to get a Netflix doc in 15 years.
Netflix doc. You are top dog of the serial killers. Nobody's done it. And of all the weeks to be caught.
Fucking hell, mate. Yeah. How many did he kill?
I think around 40 something, but they didn't. There's a lot more unconfirmed.
What's his name?
Gary Ridgway, the Green River Killer.
But let's can we get into what you were going to say about?
He broke down in the courtroom and cried after the families were allowed to address him. Now, I think he faked that personally. I don't think he feels
empathy.
So I think if you don't feel a level of empathy, you can't feel shame. Now, there can also be the problem with feeling shame all the time is it can create a constant state of paranoia. I don't think shame's necessarily just a good emotion. It can also be a terrible emotion. People ruin their lives by an act they've done years ago. You look at soldiers with PTSD and things like that, and there's a level of, not just PTSD because that could come from fighting, but they go, oh my God, I went to war, I did this, and you don't understand it was war, and have to try to live their lives knowing that now, at that moment of time, shame's not a good thing because it is destroying this person's life.
They haven't moved on to the next step of healing. They won't allow themselves.
No,
you can get in a shame spiral and you don't feel like you deserve to leave it.
I hope the people that I had to deal with yesterday at the train station feel shame.
Tell us the story.
Bro, yeah. So I'm going Newcastle to Birmingham, but I had a ticket from Newcastle to London. This week I got given Birmingham Glee on the Thursday as well as this weekend. Yeah, so I'm like, oh, cool, I'll do the Thursday. So I got to get off at York, innit? On my way to York to just scan the ticket, I'm on the train and the woman's like, oh, have you got a rail card? I'm like, yeah. I look, my rail card's expired because it's on my phone. Didn't know that it had expired, my rail card. So I go, oh, I'll just have to repay for it. She's like, you can't repay for it. You're going to have to buy a new ticket. I go, no, I'll just repay for the rail card. I can do it on my phone. No, sir, you're not going to be able to do that. She's like, this is fraud, what you're committing.
I don't know if that is fraud.
So now she's not even letting me finish. You know, one of those people, she's not letting me finish my sentences. So she goes, so here are your options, sir. What you're going to be, and I just want to go, stop fucking calling me sir. Like that's, stop trying to act polite. Call me a dickhead.
Yeah.
Call me, be in an argument with me. Don't hold behind this pussy thing that customer service people do, where they act like they're helping you by just using the word sir. I know what you're doing.
Yeah.
I know what you're doing. And I kept my cool more than I kept it now, right? So she goes, your options are you either buy a new ticket or I call the police at York. So I went, call the police, innit?
The York police.
The York police.
Wow.
Get the fucking police and tell them what? I've not got a rail card. Right, turns out the police really give a shit when you ain't got a rail card.
This is the York police. I mean, there's not a lot going on.
And I just want to say this because I got a friend, Dom, who we'll talk about one day getting on this podcast. He has a podcast called The Good, The Bad and The Ugly. He's a police officer. Wicked podcast. I give it a recommendation for people to go check out. I haven't got a problem with the police or all police officers unless you are a railway enforcement police officer, in which case I do have a problem with you.
Of the York jurisdiction.
Of any jurisdiction. Do you know who else used to manage the railways a lot? The Nazis.
Okay.
Do you see?
We've come full circle.
They did that a lot as well.
But to be fair, they were not concerned about rail cards.
They weren't, because so, do you know
they
what?
Were trying to get as many people on the train as possible.
Say what you like about the Nazis, trains were on time. Too efficient a people, if anything.
I cannot make these jokes, Elliot.
You can.
I cannot get involved in this humour.
You're allowed to get involved in this humour.
I cannot, but
I don't think I am. I have a granddad who I never met was Jewish.
You're clinging on to that 2%.
I don't even think this is fine for me to be saying.
You're like Mufasa on the cliff. That's how you're clinging on to telling these jokes. It's very fine margins. You're gonna fall off any minute.
So the police turn up, innit? And they're then doing that thing of going, well, am I being detained?
Right.
And they go, well, you've got to give us your name and things. So I go, am I being detained? Let me know now. So
you seem like someone who knows your rights.
I know that right.
Right.
Turns out I was very nearly being detained. No, he got his cuffs out at one point and went to cuff me.
Really?
Yeah, but I was in my head. I was thinking, please don't do this, bro, because
you would have missed the pod.
I wouldn't have been on the. I was going, I'm going to make this situation worse if he goes and cuffs me. But I don't know where your philosophy is on this, right? Or even if this is philosophy, but. As a man, I'm not having another man unless I've been caught fucking doing something wrong. Like, say I went and did drink driving, or say I went and you be in a fight at somewhere. You've done something where you should probably be detained. All I've done is get on a train. The rail card's expired because it's on the app, and now I'm in handcuffs. Nah, absolutely.
I thought you had like a toxic masculinity thing, like. Is being arrested gay? I don't want to be.
I'll be arrested if I've done something I should be arrested for.
Right.
Fair enough. But
you would have brought out the Muay Thai.
I would have brought out. I would have. No, flicks. I wouldn't have thrown punches or kicks, but I would have because that's my. I would have tried to have been a. Hey, I was just defending myself.
Elliot could have been an outlaw on the run. In York right now.
I don't know. I'm not having I'm not being arrested because I didn't have. Because the rail card on your fucking app doesn't let me know that when it's up. You should have a thing going, hey, your rail card's expired now, renew it. I'd have done it.
And you're still, in reflection, you're still quite indignant about this situation. You don't feel like anything you could have handled better.
No, I tell you what annoys me about it. What annoys me about people who works in jobs where they've got motives of power, where they've got the company behind them.
The smallest modicum of power goes to their head.
Yeah, and this is what I'm saying about shame. This woman should feel ashamed. She should. She's got me off a train. I'm nearly being arrested because you're not letting me use the app to just I'm re-downloading it. So I show her and she goes, well, you just bought it now. Yeah, that's how buying thing works, you stupid cow. That's what buying things is. You've let me know the thing's not working. So
I'm not deceiving you. I'm doing it in front of your eyes.
Exactly. I have £30. I can do this. I don't want to seem like a baller.
I think we should have an Elliot train story of the week every week.
Oh man, I've got so many. Ever told you about the time I got thrown off a train in Oxford?
I mean, the more
I'll do it
stories you
another time.
tell makes me think the more it's your fault.
It was hilarious. They brought my name up and they went, "You've got 2 strikes against you already."
Okay.
On what, like train documents, like
yeah.
national train
I
documents?
think I've got a couple of ticks against my name.
Ooh.
Okay, I mean,
What happens if you get 3?
well, you
We'll
know,
find out. Apparently, so this is the other thing she did.
trains don't-
She took me off, and it was you have to buy a ticket to York, and then you can rejoin the train. I wasn't rejoining the train anyway, so I didn't mind I was going to miss it. Then it came, you got to buy a new train ticket to London. So I was like, well, I'm not doing that. 'Cause I'm not going to London anyway. But I didn't tell them where I was going to. And then it came, oh, we're sending you this certain thing that's a certain bigger fine and you can appeal it, but then you've got a court day. And I am going to appeal it. Do you know why I'm going to appeal it? And this is why you appeal everything a company sends you. It's not law, it's a policy, right? They don't pay for lawyers to read the thing because that's expensive. They just have a fucking idiot in an office who is just under or stress of admin.
I love
the more
if
and
we
more
cut
and more,
to 6 months, Elliot's in prison.
if you ever get a fine, if you get a fine from something, just keep contesting. I got out of a fine before, from a train company. I didn't have money to get to a gig, but I just went, and I got caught. I got a fine. They spelt my name with 3 L's when they sent me the fine. So I just wrote, I'd happily pay the fine, but this is a legally binding document, so I'm not going to pay it until you send me it back with my name spelt correctly. They never sent it back.
Look at you. You get so smart when it comes to the smallest, most inconsequential things.
Dude, I have pettiness. I will cut off my nose to spite my face. Die on this
Big
hill.
nose, you'll cut it off.
Saw it off.
Lazily remove. Laser remove. Yeah, I don't. Right, this is a philosophy of shame and thing. I know it's slightly off subject, right?
No. What do you think?
I don't understand why we as citizens of this great nation sit by and let a train company fuck us. You moan that the ticket is expensive. What you all need to do is stop paying for the tickets and get on. You then, with all the get fined. When they fine you, keep appealing, run up the costs. You've all got to go to court. That's going to cost them legal fees. That fucks the train company. They don't get the taxpayer picks up the fee when they strike. So there's no point getting the people when they're involved. You have to disrupt the service to go, we're angry at it.
Maybe this is a tenuous link back to shame, but we seem to be a country in general, when it comes to the system, we don't like to make fusses. When you look at somewhere like France, these people will protest, cause disruption over anything. And, part of, we see, for example, when we do have sort of protests and whatnot in this country, Extinction Rebellion and environmental whatnot, and then it's like, they're embarrassing themselves, they've gone too far. I wouldn't want to be a part of that.
They did though,
right? But is that like an effective way of making your point? Just like, I'm gonna put shame to the side for the greater good. I'm gonna make a fuss for the greater good.
but there's a difference between, just on the subject of this is rebellion, there's a difference between disrupting the system and disrupting people within the system.
What's the difference?
Well, if you're going to stop people who have a 9 to 5, who need to get to work and get paid by the hours that they do on a 0-hour contract,
In their eyes, they're part of the problem.
they're not part of the problem. They're part of the solution. You need these people on board. That's not a good way to get your message across. A way to get your message across is, hey, global. You've got to make the point. Global warming. Do you know this is how annoying Extinction Rebellion are? They make me want global warming to happen. They make me want. I want to know that they're dead. They're fucking annoying.
Make me want to buy coal.
Dude, it's strict. It just stinks of drama student. It's like that girl. I don't know if you saw that video of the girl in the theatre at doing stand-up comedy. I showed it to you, Phoebe. The woman in the theatre doing stand-up comedy when the.
Yeah, I'm not sure we'll be able to get that up.
If we can't get it up, that's fine. But she was in the cinema doing stand-up comedy before a film's on. They couldn't get the film on. She does it, and it's just this. You drama student.
Right.
Do you know?
Yeah, but just because it's a personal protest that you disagree with and you disagree with the methods, I'm talking about the actual process of disruption, the actual process of like making a fuss for something that you believe in is something that maybe British people don't have because we're more intrinsically like, I don't want to cause any embarrassment.
Well, there's a lot of shame in being a British person.
You reckon?
I just don't think we put the shame in the right places. I think we are a people who are ashamed of the crimes and the things that we've done. And instead of that, we that's why all British banter is look how much we drink.
Right.
That's not healthy. We're a nation of alcoholics, of functioning alcoholics, and it's totally socially acceptable.
It's like there's a bit of self-awareness, but like not enough to actually do anything about it.
Yeah. Well, I think generally most of the shame comes from the fact that we haven't won a major trophy in an international tournament.
In a long time. Or like at least in sports that matter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I hate it when-
Probably won like plenty netball tournaments, but come on.
Some fucking gold medal in the Olympics about something. Do you even care about the Olympics?
I didn't watch the last one at all.
I couldn't give a shit. Oh, you know we won a gold in fencing. All right. Oh, well done. Boring sport.
I love
Imagine making
our
sword playing
segments.
so boring. What a fuck. What a.
Are they sharp swords? You don't.
Nah, they're not actually trying to kill each other, are they? They're not.
Oh, that's even worse. I thought there was just an element of death that could have been there.
But that's the things. I think British people are inherently ashamed of things, and shame is as a British person is the worst thing. That's why we're always mistaken as polite. That we're being polite. We're not polite. Canadians are polite. We're saying thank you. Oh God, sorry, out of shame. That's what we do. We're a very shameful people.
There's a philosopher lady, Gabrielle Taylor, and she calls shame an emotion of self-protection. It's an emotional warning siren that stops us from losing more face than we already have.
Wow.
So it's almost like like you said about British people, we already know how much. Well, you guys know how much you fucked up.
I don't like that you're not British.
I'm just
in certain
separating
periods
myself in this
of certain moments.
in this situation. You guys know how much you fucked up. Over,
okay, you're allowed to separate from me.
over the centuries, and it's almost like you have that shame to just be like, you know what? Let's stop here. We can't. Let's not go to the bottom of the barrel.
I think we did go to the bottom of the barrel in terms of committing the only ever successful genocide that's ever happened.
Successful genocide.
Yes, we committed the only ever successful.
Stop
genocide.
saying you. Well, who
I said we,
Who did you?
What's successful?
as in we killed everyone of that race.
Who was that?
It was the only truly successful genocide that was under the British government. I believe it was in Tasmania, but I might have gotten that wrong. And apologies if I have.
Gosh.
Oh, I don't.
Not only have they
I
been
don't know who I'd be
100%.
apologising to. They're all gone. But
Wow.
I'm a comedian, man.
He's 2% Jewish. You can say it.
No, but that's. But this is my thing. This is why I argue different to shame, right? So some people will say or get angry or feel shame with that joke. There's a reason I don't feel shame when joking about things, right? And I want to say this on the podcast because I like doing it. I like to talk about these things. We're relating it to comedy. But when I do a joke like that there, I feel like when you actually have the knowledge that something like that happened and can reflect on the crime that's gone on there, that's fine then to joke about because you've actually gone and done some research into it. Whereas if you're just going like, ha ha, they're all gone, blah, 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 blah.
I mean, you've led with education. You've led with informing people about something they may not have known happened. You probably potentially misidentified the people that it happened to.
I believe it was near Tasmania, or so. I think it was
Tasmania adjacent.
Yes, but I may have gotten it.
Tasmania.
Just similar to.
I should get happy about that. Sorry, I should get to punch like I just got an answer on The Price is Right.
And you win.
Yeah.
Bicycle.
Oh, cool. This is the best. Obviously, sorry for what happened, but well,
Yeah,
I wanted one of these.
1826 to 1829.
Yeah, so that was so that's not taught in secondary school. That isn't taught.
No.
That's insane. That isn't taught. It's mental. Think about how much better jokes than mine we could have had. No, it's terrible. And that's the thing with shame. So is there a thing of shame where we don't look at our past as British people? Most people don't know about what we've done in Ireland. That's why Irish people get angry a lot. Irish people get sound, but they get annoyed because British people, they're like, you guys don't even know what your government did over there or what's happened for hundreds of years. And that's the thing. So is that a level of shame or where we're so ashamed that we just block it out and that's why we drink all the time and our whole banter is, oh my God, it rains. That's why we're miserable. Really? Or is it because we, a lot of the world is angry at us and we think it's because we sing that coming home song at football.
Yeah. I mean, that's just the cherry on the top. But,
It's a good song.
It is a good Sweet Caroline and all that. But, you know, obviously the society we live in now is very much, you know, the self-help book.
Yes.
Very much feel as amazing about yourself as possible. You are great. There's nothing wrong with you. If people don't like you, it's on them.
Yes.
You're beautiful, amazing. You know, all of those sort of mantras. And that does have a place in society, but we seem to be also saying that an element of shame is a certain element of self-awareness, and that is necessary to be the same as any other emotion. It's necessary to function in society. Now, I feel like if you want to go outside and you want to wear like a daring outfit and you feel like people are looking at you bad, now that sort of shame, fuck that shame. That's not necessary. You don't need that. You know, wear what you want to wear. But a shame in terms of, I don't know, when you have done something wrong and interacting with other people, I think that is necessary in order for us to function. I think that's why it has a necessary function in society, where it sort of keeps a certain moral line. And maybe those moral lines are always shifting. Maybe that's the problem. Because there's things in the past where people have been told to be ashamed about, and now we're looking like, no, you should not feel ashamed about whether it's your sexuality, your gender, or wherever. Like, dude, you know, so maybe it's just about finding that line of shame. And
well, that's again why I was saying shame is sometimes a bad thing, because, you know, if someone feels ashamed of being gay when they're gay, that's horrible, you know. So that's where shame can be bad, because, you know, if you feel shame because you have done something wrong and you're reflecting on it, the shame can be a positive thing.
But there could be elements now where, as a society, we're telling people to feel ashamed about, but that person, they could just be ahead of the curve. Do you know what I mean? Be like, I don't want to feel ashamed about this, and in 20 years' time, I know you give me that look as if I'm going to give a fucked up example. I'm not going to give a fucked up example. I have a couple in my head. But
Does this example involve sometimes being Facebook live streamed in and as the car park, Michael?
Wait, what the fuck?
Oh, with someone going, excuse me, mate, can I just have a word with you there? Sorry, mate. Citizens arrest. Guys, no racism in the comments, please. Guys, no racism in the comments.
I'm going to lose my job. I think to be child fuckers should feel shame. They are not ahead of the curve.
He didn't. He's like, I'm not even going to call you the PC name of paedophile. Let's call it what it is.
I don't think child fuckers are sort of like revolutionary people who are misunderstood. I think that will always be something of shame. I don't know. I'm saying other things. I don't know. Like people who still wear bootcut jeans. You know what I mean? Not pedophiles.
I think I've got to head off to Birmingham, unfortunately, but I think that's a perfect place.
Yeah.
To maybe leave the podcast.
Yeah.
This has been one of my favourite episodes.
Whenever we get to pedophiles, I think that's just a natural stopping point. I think that's right there.
I'm going to just plug. Guys, thank you so much for tuning in. If you're not already, follow the Instagram pages of the Btec Philosophers and the Twitter account.
And again, sorry for cutting you off. But just thanks for keep coming back, and more people seem to keep coming back and enjoying our conversations, part philosophical, part mostly stupidity. But yeah, thank you for listening.
Yeah, we really like this little community that we're building. I'll be at that comedy festival I keep plugging away on March 1st in Wales, Matchfest. And got a couple of things coming up. You got anything coming up, Mike? You got Sleep Easy?
No.
Okay. Well, this has been Btec. Fifi, have you got anything?
No, all good, thanks.
Okay, well, thank you for tuning in, guys. And share it with your friends and leave us a little review on the Apple thing.
Wait, I am performing at the Street Easy.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
This Tuesday the 5th. I got confused about when this was going to come out.
No, it's not coming out on Tuesday the 5th. We're recording this early because I'm away in Austria all of next week.
Okay, so no, I don't have anything to promote. I don't.
I'm so
confused. Fucking hell, man. Yeah, let's end the pod. Let's end it here.
Yeah?
Thanks for listening.
Thank you.